What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Sports Now with Darius and Aiden. And today, we are doing our NBA Finals review. And today, I have on the GOAT hat for the greatest shooter of all time, Wardell Stephen Curry. And, of course, my Nick Andrew Wiggins. But without further ado, I'm handing it over to Darius to give the first proclamation of the day.
Well, Aiden, I'm going to give you your props for this series. You picked the Golden State Warriors, and we talked throughout the course of this series. I never mentioned that picking Golden State. If you pick Golden State, that's a great pick. These were two great teams battling it out in the finals, and this was a great series. I never said picking Golden State in seven, which was your pick. I never said Golden State was a bad pick, but I believe your reasons in that preview episode, I think those were the wrong reasons going into this series. Now, with the Celtics, they're a very, very young team. And if you're a Boston Celtics fan, I encourage you to stay optimistic because this is a very young team and they will definitely be back. Draymond Green said it, and the world knows it. The Boston Celtics are going to be contenders in the Eastern Conference for the next 10 years. If Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown remain on this team, the Celtics will be in the finals plenty of more times, okay? And in Game 6, the Boston Celtics just didn't come to play basketball. It seems like the only people that came to play basketball were Jaylen Brown and Al Horford last night. And with the Celtics, I mentioned this in the preview episode. You have to match the intensity of the Golden State Warriors. You can't be bullied around by them. And 13 turnovers, I believe they had 13 turnovers in the first half. And we talked about this. These are two very high turnover teams. And Boston is very undisciplined when it comes to securing the ball. And when you create that many turnovers, that gives more opportunities for the Golden State Warriors to score. And we know if you give the Golden State Warriors more opportunities to score, you will regret all of those turnovers because you had 13 turnovers in the first 24 minutes of the game. They didn't come to play with force. It seems like the only people that played with heart tonight were Jaylen Brown and Al Horford. And excuse me, don't forget about Robert Williams as well. And during that blitz in like the first or second quarter, where they were actually down by like maybe 10 points. The score was like 12-2. And then they came back and they were up by 21. They got blitzed. They didn't know what to do. They were undisciplined. They panicked. That's why they were rushing for threes. That's why Golden State was forcing so many turnovers. And with Jason Tatum here, let me say this. Jason Tatum is a top 10 player, regardless of what you thought about his performance this series. Okay. And this is his first final appearance. Yes, did he underperform? Yes, but we do have to realize that at the end of the day, we still have to stay optimistic. This is a very, very young team. And I believe Jason Tatum, going into next year, the Boston Celtics are going to be better than ever. This is an experienced team now. We talk about they didn't have the experience. They definitely have the experience now. And they have the talented roster to do so. And I really do believe that the Celtics are going to be probably the contender of the Eastern Conference next year. Regardless of who's coming back, regardless if it's a healthy Brooklyn next team, regardless of Chris Middleton's return, regardless of the Miami Heat coming back strong and better than ever, I still believe the Celtics are the number one team and the most talented team in the Eastern Conference. Okay, that's what I have to say about the Celtics. Now to the Golden State Warriors. This championship cements Steph Curry's legacy. It cements it. Steph Curry is officially, without a doubt, without consideration, is a top 10 player ever to play the game of basketball. Now you can argue who you're going to take off that list, but it is 100%. It's 100% lock that Steph Curry is a top 10 player of all time. And this ring, I believe, yes, it's the hardest ring, but yes, I believe it's the most important ring out of the four for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Yes, we all had doubts that Golden State could probably not return back to championship status, with the injuries to Steph and the injuries to Klay. And at one point, the Golden State Warriors had the worst record in the NBA a couple of years ago. And I look at all this talent now, right? How they play with Steph Curry and Klay and Draymond stepping up the last two games of the series, and Jordan Poole having a nice series as well. but I'm looking at the young stars going to come back next season. Jordan Poole is going to improve over the course of the offseason. James Wiseman is going to come back after missing the entirety of the season. Jonathan Kuminga is going to get better. The Golden State Warriors have weapons for days, and I believe in the Western Conference, they're definitely going to be the contender. The West is definitely going to get better. I'm looking at the Mavs. I'm looking at Kawhi and a healthy Paul George coming back for the Clippers. When LeBron and AD come back for the Lakers, John's going to be back. The Suns are going to be back regardless of their situation. There are going to be a lot of teams in the West fighting to get that stuff from the Golden State Warriors. The question is, can they stop them? That's a question for another day. But right now, the Golden State Warriors are champions. Congrats to all of them. The legacy of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green is cemented. They are all locks for the Hall of Fame. They are three of the greatest players, if not the three greatest players in NBA in Golden State Warriors history. Steph Curry is a top 10 player of all time now. And the one thing he was looking for was a finals MVP. And that's exactly what he got. So now I believe there's absolutely no reason in the world why we should not consider him as an all-time great now.
You know, this one feels a little bit different.
It does, man.
One because Steph really showed up this time. Like the man showed up immensely. And on nights where Draymond wouldn't show up, where Klay wasn't always Klay, Jordan Poole was very inconsistent, Stephen Curry showed up night after night. Now to my man Andrew Wiggins, dog. I said a lot of crazy stuff in that episode, but one thing I will stand on is I did say who was going to guard Andrew Wiggins. That man put on a show. That is the best I have seen Andrew Wiggins play in his entire career. I am truly astonished and impressed with what the first overall pick did. The man has been on such a long journey. From being considered a bust, from being considered a failure, overhyped, overpaid, overrated, an all-star starter, and now NBA champion. Andrew Wiggins has came a long way. Now to Jordan Poole. Very inconsistent. When he showed up, he really showed up, but he was very consistent. It was some nights he'll be in the single digits, and some nights he'll be in the triple, and he'll be in the double digits, and he'll be shooting threes out the park. But when he's on, and I want to see this, and I want to see this more consistent Jordan Poole throughout the rest of his career. Draymond Green. Jesus Christ, Draymond Green. Now, he did show up this last game. He had 12 points, 12 rebounds. But what he showed throughout the series is that he is over and past the hill. Man is just like, there's not a lot left in the tank. There's, if not any. I don't know what his next move should be, but he's not a consistent. I don't even know if he should be a starter anymore from what the fuck we just saw. That's how I really feel. Klay Thompson will get better as it goes, but this is definitely a big win for Klay coming off of all the injuries and all the inconsistencies. And I really want to clap it up to him because there's not another player on planet Earth I think I can name that is coming back from a torn ACL and a torn Achilles. Very, very few, if not any, players in any sport could have ever come back from those type of injuries. Jonathan Kuminga will get better as it goes. James Wiseman, I want to see him healthy next year. That's how I feel about the Warriors. Steve Kerr, man. Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is that guy. Now to the Celtics. Now I'm trying to refrain from saying any outlandish stuff here, right? Darius obviously mentioned the turnovers. I said that this Warriors team was a more better defensive team than we gave them credit for. The turnovers wasn't necessarily the Warriors defense. It was just the Golden State. It was just the Celtics being undisciplined and impatient throughout the entirety of the game. Undisciplined and impatient. But that's usually how it is for most young teams. Al Horford was the oldest tenured player on the team, was the veteran leadership that they had, and he showed up. Jason Tatum, the leader of that team, apparently did not show up. He scored 13 points throughout the entirety of this game after going off in every other game. He was having a phenomenal series up until this game. This game was ridiculous on his part. He was forcing up shots that weren't there, and he was looking sloppy on the defensive end. I was on record saying that I might take Jason Tatum over Luka Doncic. I'm not happening anymore. No, I say a lot of shit about the Dallas Mavericks. I say a lot. But one thing Luka Doncic has never not done is that man has never not shown up. Every single day that man shows up. And that's what we give him credit for. Luka's defense is lackluster at times. He's not an athletic freak, right? But the man shows up. And I think that's why he's the best. He's the best piece, still the best player under 25. And Luka Doncic definitely solidifies himself as a top 10 player in this league currently. Jason Tatum too, but he's not above Luka. I just can't make the argument anymore after what I saw last night. I can't make the argument. Marcus Smart, the guy I said was the best defensive player in the league, looked lost on defense last night. Looked very lost. I don't know. This team will most definitely be back, but you're gonna have to move some pieces. Al Horford's not gonna be here forever. You're gonna have to get some help, right? Obviously, y'all experienced a couple of injuries towards your big man. My fault on not mentioning Al Horford as a big man last time, and but obviously you experienced injuries with your best big man on the court. He was out for games during their playoff run, but y'all most definitely be back. And this is not the end of the show. Jason Tatum will win a ring. Jaylen Brown will win a ring. Marcus Smart will win a ring. I don't know about Al Horford. I hope he does. I hope he lasts long enough for that, but we'll see. I mean, that's all I really got to say here, man. I'm usually bragful and boastful like I was in the Rams video, because it was a lot of stuff. I put my heart and soul into that as a Rams fan. But here at this game, this team right now, we just saw two teams battle it out for 6 games. And just the right players didn't show up at the right time. And that's all it takes to win or lose a series.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Sports Now. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to comment down below, leave your thoughts, and also make sure to hit that bell for post notifications for every video and update from our channel. Until then, guys, we will see you on the next episode. Until then, I'm Darius Sams, that's Aiden Munson, and we will see you on the next episode. We will see you on the next episode of Sports Now. Until then, peace.